Hit Season 2.
You know, just discouraging your opponent from going for that. So guys, we are going to go into game number 2 now on Frozen Temple. We are on Frozen Temple, down in the bottom right in the red from the Afrika Freaks. It is Bomber.
And up here the top left in blue, it is GuMiho. Towel Terran, its ID means Nine-Tailed Fox. Now, looking at this map versus the previous map, the biggest difference is that the fourth base is not as easy to take. If you look at GuMiho's position, let's focus on his side of the map, the top of the map, because he was the player mech last game. That fourth base is somewhat close by, but it's not like a compact diamond kind of situation like we had on the previous map. That map is easy to mech on because everything is kind of together. GuMiho had a huge weak point in his main base because he lost air control and he had no turrets, but Bomber didn't exploit that. Well, by ground, those bases are so close together. This map, though, a little bit tougher, and I don't think we're going to see GuMiho commit to mech as much this time if he does go for mech at all. We have Bomber going for a double Reaper opening, by the way, versus the gas first. I think Bomber's trying to punish the fact that GuMiho is being so greedy with these gases every game. And I do like this opening. Let's see what he can get done with it. Even harassing this SCV. What is he?
It's doing a lot of damage, you know. That SCV wanting to block, but now it gets very low, so now it can't block the CC. And generally, when you see the double Hellion, or the double Reaper, rather, the gas first player will get that factory up, and you know it'll deal with the first Reaper that comes in pretty easily. But then once it gets a Hellion or two out, it just generally shuts it down hardcore, and then your tech is ahead. Your opponent got that extra racks first to get these Reapers out. It didn't really do too much. You get faster infantry upgrades for sure, but it's about it. So we'll see what kind of damage these Reapers can do, if they do any at all.
Well, because he harassed a little bit with that SCV earlier, one SCV is going to be weakened. Oh, he could flank here. If he actually predicts this Reaper is here, he could go from both sides. He's going to kill this SCV very easily, deny the CC for the time being. Now he could actually just intentionally fight and bait. And, ooh, misses the grenade, but he will win the fight. Needs to pull the first Reaper back, though. Oh, a bit late on that one.
And doesn't even focus the second Reaper that comes down. He does have 2 more on the way, but Hellion already on the way. He is denying that third CC from coming up here for quite a while.
Yeah. This could have done so much more, though. Sometimes builds like this can win versus gas first just by build order
can't
advantage.
Complete that CC. He just can't get it done.
You probably should just wait, too. He's feeding SCVs. That CC has enough health to where it's not going to be killed by 2 Reapers or even 3. Now moving down to control it, and it will finally finish.
Ooh, coming in
on the high
behind.
ground. And a pre-placed grenade. Very well done. He hits his own Reaper, but splitting here.
The focus onto the Hellion, too, but he loses 1 Reaper. Does get the Hellion, but
2 health left. If he turns one more time, it's dead.
Well, gonna try to cut it off here.
I think he will.
Yeah.
I think this is actually a dead Reaper.
That's, well, the chase is real. There it is, okay. One more shot should do it. Look at that little dance he does at the end to celebrate his long and glorious life here.
So, Bomber's transitioning to 3CC, but he's up against Cloak Banshees again. And he needs to be a little bit more prepared this time. He's getting the Cyclone. I think it's time to get an eBay because he doesn't know what he's up against. He does not have an answer. The funny thing about this is Bomber tried to out-Reaper GuMiho, basically. He made a few control mistakes, but GuMiho's Reaper control is some of the best in the world. He's known for that, as you guys can see here.
Slips in like it's nobody's business. Gets a SCV as well as a full scout.
He almost killed a Marine with that, too. He's like,
wow.
Oh, okay, I noticed that you don't have any engineering bay in there. I also saw that you have a Cyclone.
Also, the third CC is a bit later this time. He doesn't have the extra scan to come in, and the Banshee is going to hit sooner because this is a smaller map. Does have the Cyclone, and is actually going for a Liberator as a follow-up. Engineering Bay coming up now, but the timing is just off.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the exact same timing where the Banshee hits right as Cloak finishes, and he's going to have to rely on scans alone. That's not really a very comfortable position here.
Oh man, even outraging these Marines, outplaying Bomber at every turn. Now going to kill the last of these Marines.
And GuMiho even plays it safe. He could have like gone in there. He's like, no, you probably got a Cyclone. I'm just going to back off. I killed 5 Marines. That's already a ton of damage. Just going to uncloak and go back home. He's like,
Force
whatever.
turrets. He has his third base landed, which he was able to do from that information of the Reaper Scout, as you were mentioning.
Yeah.
That the third CC is not that far ahead, and that he is going to have his third CC first, and he's going into the double E-bays. Like I said, he's less likely to go mech here. Bomber does have the faster stim. I talk about this a lot, but very rarely does this actually end up being a thing, because it's hard for you to know that they don't have stim or how far behind they are, so it's hard to capitalize on this, but it is one small advantage, and he will find some damage here. There's no anti-air whatsoever nearby. None at all. This is actually going to do a lot of damage. He's going to have to pull. Maybe like Medevacs can look at the Liberator, but that's all they can really do.
He goes over there and tries to drop the tanks. I'm like, no, they're not that strong. It looks like he is going to go for a counterattack. Ooh, one more hit and loses a Banshee, in fact.
You know, just barely maintaining vision. I thought he was actually safe. Liberator gets 7 kills, and now the SCV count in Bomber's favor. Again, a bit of saturation advantage is going to go to GuMiho, but he's not going to get much from that yet. Oh, don't you dare get any closer, Marine. You're going to pay for it.
That Marine paid for it. Dying to some siege tanks. Banshee waiting in the wings. He wants to draw some units over to the natural to deal with the tanks and then swoop in.
I think he wants to kill the Cyclone specifically. That's what he's working on. I mean, I think he cancel these depots. That's cute. But now that the Cyclone is dead, this Banshee has so much more power.
Now there's a little nook there on the right side where there's no detection, it looks like. He could try to just get continuous kills. Still no pull here from Bomber. No turret, no units, nothing to deal with this. It's like he didn't even notice.
Bomber.
And now it's attacking a supply depot. He could be getting so much more damage. There you go.
Bomber
He's got it on hold position.
He's just really struggling with this multitasking here. 2 siege tanks at the front. He doesn't have any way of dealing with that. This isn't even going to get cloaked.
Yeah, it was just on hold position there, which explains why he didn't get more SCV kills.
He's just microing these tanks at the same time. Going to win the trade here, then pick up. Oh
not even the ability to see those units were the tanks of Bomber.
This reminds me of that Forte game, or GuMiho, or rather a Bomber just like, Forte was like, wait, I mean, this guy seems like he doesn't know how to deal with tankovacs. Let me just kill half his army for free as he struggles. Bomber had stim and still was unable to deal with this. Now he's lost so many units, including the Marine kills on the Banshee, that GuMiho's like, I'm going to put on some more hard pressure. He still hasn't landed his third base. GuMiho's had his third base up for so long, and he's taken the worker lead. He has way more saturation. He has way more gas, and this will be denied temporarily. Okay, looks like he should react here and Marine away. Okay, the Marine's going to chase. So that's one way to bring it away.
Oh boy. The Marine lives. Let's see if he can do any damage at that third base.
There are so many Vikings here that if Bomber really commits, he will regret
it. Well, he didn't see those Vikings. He was trying to get the coolest angle, but it didn't quite work. He's got an angle here. Going to force a lift now.
Ooh, the Vikings fly over the Marines, but it doesn't matter. He doesn't have enough stuff. And that is way too much damage to stay in here from Bomber, who will no longer be able to hold on to his third base. All GuMiho has to do is counterattack. By the way, without combat shields, this is going to get cleaned up by a turret. 17 SCVs did die for GuMiho, but I think he can kill that third base. Huge missed him there as well, chasing nothing. If he just goes across the map, he should be able to deny his third base. His combat shields will finish. It's 5 tanks to 1, and that's the big deal here, because without the tanks on the defense, it's going to be very difficult for Bomber to hold on to this base. Look at the army supply. He's down 12, and he's missing tanks, and already we've seen how Bomber struggles versus Tankovac harass. And
yeah, let's see how he responds to this too. Gonna eat a big shot there, losing about 4 or 5 Marines, but
yeah,
GuMiho just picks up. That's not how you deal with the Tankovacs. You can't just stim Marines in, right? You need some air control. You need to have your own Tankovacs out there. fighting for that spot, but Bomber's just like, no, I'm not even going to fight for it. I'm just going to go around.
Or, yeah, exactly. Or you have to have a faster rotation. His rotation here is slow. Look at this. His base is dead. And by the time this army gets there, GuMiho can go back. He has so many options. So many choices.
Might even have some tanks in position.
He probably does. They're coming over right now. Look at the map. One tank in position. The rest of the tanks coming. Saves the tank. And
seems like he's just going to give it up, funnily enough. Just not enough units over here, but it may be that he's looking to trap the units of Bomber.
He has 5 Vikings, so the escape is not really an option here.
Yeah, look at the Vikings go north on the minimap.
Exactly. Look at the minimap. You can see the Vikings are chasing for the flank.
Oh, those are actually tanks. Yeah, there they are. And he can just corner him in the top of the map here. And it doesn't even really matter that he lost his third base. They're on equal bases. But GuMiho's got the better position and the better army here.
He has 1-1 upgrades, 2-2 halfway done. Here's the cornering of the air units, kills both medevacs. And Bomber is just getting outplayed. If GuMiho had reacted a little bit faster, he might be able to save that base, but I don't even mind that he couldn't. He decided not to take the fight, which was absolutely the right choice. And can you check, does Bomber at least have the 1-1? Okay, he does at least have that. So they're on upgrades evenness right now. Like they're parity.
Parity, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, this is going to be some free units. Report GuMiho for feeding.
Yeah.
This army can be crushed. I think Bomber's hoping that he attacks into that so he has an opportunity to kill this third base, cancel it.
Bomber himself is not even going for a third base. He's just going to lift his main and just try to mine with those units, those SCVs that he's got from the main.
The production tab alone tells such a big story. GuMiho mines so much more. Even though they're on even bases now, the extra money that was mined from GuMiho allows him so much more flexibility. He obviously clearly has a better infrastructure. Bomber is making more Marines at a time. That's what he's spending his money on. But the tech that he's missing is the bigger issue. He's down on siege tanks. Doesn't have the right upgrades. He's broke. He's now starting, no, he's moved his CC down, so he'll be able to mine from that. Which will cost him 1 mule at a time, advantage-wise versus GuMiho's mining.
You can see on the unit tab here that Bomber does have a lot more Marines, and if he were active with those Marines, if he went for some drops, really tried to get GuMiho out of position, he could take this one. You see that he has retaken his third base, and these guys are basically on even bases as GuMiho's Bane mines out.
And this is the one time where they're going to be even on siege tank count. Right now, this is Bomber's only chance to take a fight. If this game goes longer, you will just always have the worst tank count, I would say. Like, Bomber starts another tank right now, but it costs him so much money. All right, so the Marine count, he needs to utilize that in some way, as you said. He's being very passive here because he didn't have vision of where GuMiho's at. He didn't want to scan.
2 unlucky Marines there as the scouts are going to see GuMiho's army coming in.
There's that scan, but he can't do anything about it. He's going to have to try to base trade, but he's too slow on the rotation again. And this is going to cost him yet another base. Now he only has 1 orbital left. GuMi's already set up. And he could slow this down. He can't stop it, but he can slow it down, which is the key here.
GuMiho's actually going to go back for the defense once again.
Yeah, because he can corner this. He's already slowed it down.
He already forced the third to lift, and it is burning. Can be repaired. But look at this. Bomber's got a nice position at the top of this ramp. Yeah, see if GuMiho can get around this.
This is really tough for GuMiho to engage. He's going to engage on the other side of the rocks, but this is a terrible fight.
Oh, boy. Not the fight you want to take there. Not even stimming up the ramp, just walking up the ramp. I think he lost control of those units. And now Bomber's kind of got a chokehold on this position.
He has a much larger army, and it's all about the Marines now. And with 80 to 30, I think GuMiho just gets overwhelmed. I think he has thrown his advantage. The CC lived, it was repaired. So Bomber still has a stream of economy. Not that he has better economy than GuMiho, but he has a better position here.
It's an interesting spot. Bomber needs to attack right now. He's going to stim into tanks, but there's not that many tanks over here.
He doesn't have enough units. The upgrades are better for GuMiho. GuMiho going to back off now to the support of his tanks, and that should be game over here for Bomber. He tries and fails. GuMiho the better player. GG!
GuMiho going to take it 2-0 in kind of a closer one there in that second game. But as you said, everything coming together just at the end for GuMiho as he takes that 2-0. So he's going to get another chance here to fight against Deer.
Yeah, this is going to be an exciting one. Get that rematch, and Deer did win the previous series. You and I still really feeling like GuMiho was the favorite. Do you still feel that way, actually, going to the second series?
Deer looked really on top of his games today. I don't know. You know, GuMiho, I feel like he needs to be a bit more confident. Even in that series against Bomber, it wasn't as clean as I had hoped for. You know, he doesn't look like the same GuMiho that was coming out in ace matches and pro leagues and wrecking nerds, right? He doesn't seem as comfortable today as other days. So in that same sense, Deer, he took it once. I think he should take it again here.
Yeah, I'm going to have to change my prediction as well. I'm going to have to lead into Deer as the favorite.
Looks that way, guys. So we're going to come back for the final match, Deer versus GuMiho, after a short break.
Cut